Having that scoring, there's a little more pressure. It got me hooked a little bit more on pickleball. A couple buddies were forming a team and they basically were like, do you want to come out this weekend to play this tournament? It was awesome. And I also didn't have to give up any work at that time. So it was kind of playing that balancing act where the regular tournament started Thursday. And this was a perfect opportunity to get out there, play a tournament, meet a ton of people. And it was a few good buddies. So I was stoked to get out there and play with them. Having that scoring, there's a little more pressure. It got me hooked a little bit more on pickleball, coming from not really competing the last couple of years, just working in investment banking. I was able to get out there and have that kind of collegiate environment, which was a ton of fun. I remember us just battling it out. There was the pool play, which was fun. You just got to see a lot of different teams. And then you ended up with this kind of semis and finals, which was a super cool way to do it. In minors, you start to get used to the format, you start to get used to kind of the style of it, but you can still get away with a lot of stuff that's not going to work in challenger. And then in challenger, you have a little bit more like a little less leeway, but you can still speed up a little bit. And so it's just kind of this nice path where each rung is wildly different than the last, with the pressure and the amount of just kind of like the feeling that your opponents give to you and really make you make all the shots, but you can start to kind of see those steps. And it's just a cool way to play the game, and you get that kind of tiering of levels. That first challenger event back in January, I kind of was expecting, oh, okay, it's going to be similar to minors, but really the airs in that just cut down drastically. And so you really just have to lock in and really trust your game. Being a little newer to the sport too, I don't have those thousands of reps on that dink. And so that's something that really is important as you're continuing to play all these MLP events. You have to have just complete faith in those shots. And then being a lower pick on the premier level MLP, you're faced against all these top players. For the most part, every match is a battle out there. So it's just, getting used to those levels and putting in the work on the reps so you can just fully trust your game out there. I think minors is awesome. It's a great way to get first exposure. So I would say it's for the people that are looking to get in the sport and just kind of get a little bit more noticed. You have this team event, so you play with multiple partners. It gives you an opportunity to go out there and everyone's kind of watching. That for me got me kind of in the door, got some buzz around my name, but it's also fun for those players who are just looking to have a good time. And it's a cool way to make a little bit of money and play the sport that you love. I think having that kind of system there, I know when I was first getting into the sport, I had to call and ask a little bit about getting my ranking properly adjusted so I could play pro tournaments. Every kind of system has their limitations, but I think DUPR does a good job of collecting a lot more data. Being able to accurately get that like 2.5 to 5.0, having one system out there that can just put a value on everyone there is so important. The more systems you have, the more confusing it gets. So it's just the more you guys can standardize that, the better it's going to be.